I could go on
Uh,
forever.
yeah.
Let's talk about another thing that's happening in BC.
Yeah.
We've got John Rustad. He's the BC Conservative leader. The only one who seems to have a divergent viewpoint on these matters in all of BC government. It seems to be quite homogenous, even on the center right, or the Liberal Party. There is not like a Justin Trudeau Liberal Party, although it seems to behave
Right.
sometimes like that. It's a
Mhm.
center right party. It's a coalition party, but
And it's called
conservatives have
BC
sort of
United now.
BC United now. That's right, because they needed to jettison the stigma of
Yeah.
being liberals.
Yeah.
However, they were the old BC Liberal Party, and they were a coalition party, so whatever. But the conservatives need a better alternative than was sort of watered down, whatever that is. And so they have John Rustad, and it, he is sort of taking a lot of heat in BC for advocating for parents being involved in their children's sexual education.
Yeah. How is this controversial?
Of the fourth party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thousands of British Columbians, many of them from minority communities, have been protesting against SOGI 123, which was originally introduced by the BC United Liberals. Parents are concerned about the sexualisation of their children in this NDP government's education system. Will the Minister admit that SOGI 123 has been divisive, an assault on parents' rights, and a distraction on student education?
Premier.
Well, thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I welcome the member to the House as the leader of his new party. But I got to say, this is not an auspicious start. You know, when you talk about the issues of the day for British Columbians, cost of living, housing, we heard from the BCUP, healthcare, addiction, mental health, to come into this place, to use the authority of his office, his new party, to find a small group of kids in our province, to leverage all of that to make them feel less safe at school, less safe in our community, to feed the fires of division in our province and bring culture war to British Columbia, it is not welcome. And when he sat on this side of the House, he supported those same policies, Honourable Chair. It is outrageous that he would stand here and do this. He sees political advantage in picking on kids and families and teachers and schools who are just trying to do their best for kids who are at risk of suicide, Honourable Chair. Shame on him. Choose another question.
Kids
There's
at risk
so
of suicide. Yeah, like it's you know what the problem is? David Eby is scared. You know why? The large minority population in the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
They turn on the current government.
Mhm.
It won't be good. When you start telling socially conservative minority populations that they don't have any rights over the education of their children, that
Mhm.
government's in real trouble.
It is. And it's also showing to me how out of touch EB is, or maybe he's putting on a face to be out of touch and playing dumb here, because out of the 92 cities that participated in the 1 million March for Children, which was about the issue that Rustad just raised in the legislature, 27 were in British Columbia. And almost all of them had more parents, families outweighing the small amount of counter protesters. I can only think of a couple where it was reversed. So to condemn Rustad for raising an issue that no one else is raising, that everyone else is becoming more aware of than, I'm assuming when he was on the other side, is just, it's tone deaf.
Well, and politicians should change their minds when more information comes to light. Like, that's what I want politicians to do. That's why we dig up the information and then show it to the world, is so that when you see it, you might have a come to Jesus moment and change your mind about your viewpoint. He's obviously changed his mind about his viewpoint. He is representing the concerns of conservatives, which is refreshing for a conservative politician to do. It's disorienting because I'm kind of not used to it. But he's speaking to the issues of parents, and he is. And you know what? If Eby wants to pick this fight with minority communities in the Lower Mainland, I say bring it. When I was at the Regina protest, I was like, did the Sikh temple just let out? Where did all these people come from? Because this is an issue that is so important to minority communities who are largely social conservative. And so when, the left claims they're all about diversity and supporting minority populations, well, let's see where this goes.
Well, BC is getting a little bit spicy. That party in particular, I mean, it was briefly mentioned. He said welcome with being the leader of an official party. The Conservative Party of British Columbia, I believe for the first time in 12 years, got their first MLA through Rustad, who was expelled from the former BC Liberals, now BC United. So they canceled him on his birthday for saying something against the climate alarmist. No, retweeting something against the climate alarmism sort of agenda. So I think it's not just Eby who's scared. It must be the BC United who's scared, because they, like you said, are supposed to be a coalition that's home for the Conservatives. I doubt they were able to ignore how many parents, families, people of color came out to be a part of that march. And now they see the only voice for all of these people who are concerned about SOGI 123, which is a diverse group of people in British Columbia. The only voice being represented now in the House is that of the Conservative Party of British Columbia, which just got their official party status because Bruce Banman from the BC United crossed the floor. So there is a lot of spicy stuff going on right now in British Columbia, and it's leaning, as far as growth-wise, towards the Conservative Party of BC.
And this stuff should really scare progressives, because a lot of people are single issue voters. For a lot of people up until now, I think probably their single issue might have been affordability. But this is next level, because a lot of parents, their children are their only concern. Like that's it. And it should be, really. Yeah, it should be. Like when people say, I would take a bullet for my child, I would jump in front of a speeding car for my child, I would jump in front of a train to save my child. The train is this stuff. The train is SOGI. This is a battle for the hearts, the minds, the souls, and the bodies of our children. And it leaves issues like affordability right in the dust, and you don't even have to look all that far in the past to see where this stuff can flip from progressive to conservative nearly instantly. It happened in Virginia. Glenn Youngkin is the governor there in a highly Democrat state, all because of a parents' uprising, because it became a single issue voter. There were single issue voters that had previously been Democrats turn out for him because he was the only person talking about it.